So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need political change, but we also need the resolve to resist. Hi, it's David. Time to get rid of Trudeau Creighton. Coming at you here. Yeah, I'm a little casual today, but this is the weekend after all. And I'm here to talk about who else? Justin Trudeau. A lot of you responded to a speech that we put online. We didn't put the whole thing, but we've put some of the greatest hits of Justin Trudeau from the Liberal convention that's been going on here in Ottawa. And there's been a lot of interest in this. So this is a short stand on guard episode. I think it's very important because what you've been telling us is that this is just infuriating. Justin Trudeau had the nerve to suggest that Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre wasn't woken up. He said, wake up. First of all, what does woke mean? Well, there's people actually who are trying to convince me that woke meant you're against racism. Well, if that's what it means, Justin Trudeau can't be woke because he's been facilitating and promoting racism his whole life, doing blackface while criticizing everybody else as being racist. So I don't think that definition quite meets the mark. Clearly, if we want to know what wokeism is, all we have to do is look at the failed policies of Joe Biden in the United States and the failed policies of Justin Trudeau here in Canada. And as Poilievre pointed out, woke, what does woke mean? Woke means you're going to go broke because of things like carbon taxes, things like lack of energy independence, shutting down pipelines, not being able to afford to pay your bills, getting rid of fertilizer. Yeah, so farmers can't grow crops and Canadians can't eat. And at the very least, we can't export food across the world. So this is what woke really means. So to understand woke, you have to look at the practice of woke politicians. And Justin Trudeau is up there waving his arms constantly, saying, I'm woke, follow me. And he had the nerve to go to this convention. And he looked, I have to say, when he was looking right at the camera, pointing his finger, he either looked like a fraud televangelist or Fidel Castro in his good old days, when he was lecturing Cubans for sometimes up to 5 hours in speeches about how they could be woke in those days. And that meant serving the state, staying broke, and driving around in cars that were 40 to 50 years old. That's what wokeism meant for Cubans. But Trudeau is increasingly looking and acting like Fidel Castro. He's looking like an authoritarian / totalitarian dictator, because that's really what makes this man tick. That's what he's all about. And it was just outrageous to watch Trudeau go on and on and on about his failed policies. And, I pointed out that he really had a Baghdad Bob moment. And of course, the Baghdad Bob moment refers to the propagandist who was following Saddam Hussein around in the twilight days of the Iraq War, announcing that the Americans were on the verge of catastrophic defeat, even as the Abrams tanks were entering the capital. And it was a classic case of delusion, denial, and this is what Justin Trudeau suffers from. He is in a chronic state of delusion and denial, and is constantly thinking he's living in a state that is doing just wonderful. Thank you very much. Thanks to my policies. And of course, things are not doing well. And he even has this illusion that he's going to hang on to his leadership, and he predicts he's going to lead the Liberal Party into the next election, which he says will occur within 2 years. Actually, he says in 2 years. So somehow he thinks he's going to keep this NDP Liberal coalition going, even as the China scandal continues to unfold and unravel and erupt around him. It's looking increasingly bad for Trudeau. Not just that he's going to lose the next election, but he's going to lose his grip on the Liberal Party because he's quite so incompetent. He's that incompetent. He's not got a grip on his party, and he certainly has not got a grip on the government. China election interference is a huge issue. Spying on a member of parliament's family in Hong Kong and doing nothing about it is a huge issue. But it goes back to being woke. Justin Trudeau can claim to be woke. Yes, and that's about the only claim to fame he has, and that's no claim to fame, because we've seen the example of that. The next time you fill up your gas tank and you look at the price per liter of that gas, thank Justin Trudeau for that. The next time you go to the grocery store and you discover an item you bought a month ago has increased in price by $5, thank Justin Trudeau for that too. Because that's what woke policies add up to. And they also add up to idiocies like biological males competing against women in women's sports. That's wokeism. That's what it's all about. And that's what Justin Trudeau is promoting. Anyway, join me later in the week for the full episode of Stand on Guard with David Creighton. We've got a lot of issues to discuss, including censorship, because this is what the Liberal government is really pushing now, because they've got an online safety bill that's coming that's going to make it virtually impossible for free speech to survive on the internet. And that's what they want. That's what they are all about. And that even came up, just as a sneak preview here, that issue came up at the Liberal convention in a policy resolution that demanded that any newspaper or media story that did not reveal its source should not be allowed to publish. That's called authoritarian government. In fact, that's called totalitarian control of speech, and that's called the annihilation of free speech. We'll have more about that later. Please support this station. Become a subscriber. Ring that bell. We want you on board. This is David Creighton for Stand on Guard.